Hey, Disgruntled. Welcome to this podcast. And today is going to be the 4th of July special. And I'm going to be wrapping up the Frenemies drama because it is just about over. And I am going to be listing I'm going to be going from a list of things that are 4th of July activities that you normally do on 4th of July and that you normally, just do, and things related to 4th of July and America in general, I guess. But I'm going to be rating my thoughts and opinions on those things, like hot dogs, fireworks, eating outside, etc., etc. I'm going to be probably going over 5 to 10 things, maybe a little bit more. The more I come up, the more things I will rate and give my opinion on out of 10. My camera is about to die, so a little bit of this, maybe half or a little towards the end, will be just audio. For your YouTube listeners, for Spotify, it doesn't really matter if my camera dies or not because you're listening anyway. So I'm going to do a little brush up first, just kind of updating you guys what the future holds for this podcast, League of the Wings, and Babellion Studios podcast. Babellion Studios podcast, Titus Lincoln Oldham is starting to interview people, and I will be helping him in the next few weeks or a couple months, maybe even a little bit longer than that, probably into the school year as well. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we have some fun podcast episodes for Babellion Studios coming up. We are interviewing a bunch of creatives, our friends, and I'm not going to be telling you who we're interviewing, but Titus already uploaded a podcast, I think last week. I forget when he uploaded it, so go check it out. I'll put a link in the description of that podcast, but he interviewed one of his friends I should probably know the name of. I'm going to search that up right now so I can tell you the name of the person that he interviewed, because that is relevant to the topic that I'm talking about. But she interviewed Bella Howie 2 days ago, so go check it out on Babellion Studios on YouTube. It was a very interesting and intriguing interview, and it definitely deserves a listen and a watch, if anything. And so go check that out. So that's what we're going to be doing for Babellion. And then we also have a couple short films as well that are going to be coming out. I don't know when, but it should be in the fall. Some exciting things happening for Babellion Studios that I'm really excited about. And if you don't know what Babellion Studios is, I'm going to put another link to another video that when I interviewed Titus Oldham a couple months back, we went over what exactly Babellion Studios is. So if you don't know what that is, go check out that video, because I'm not going to explain in this podcast because we already explained it on this podcast already if you don't know. Now, as for the League of the Wings future, hopefully I'm going to be interviewing one of my friends, like I said last week that I would interview to this week, but I just forgot to text her, so it may be next week. That's still up in the air, but hopefully I'm going to be interviewing one of my friends from Temple, Anna, and hopefully that's going to be next week. As of for the rest of the League of the Rings, we need one more team, and then we're going to be doing a draft video for this upcoming year. And it's already that time because we posted, that's how it all started, a draft video. I think it was Brendan, Trey, Titus, and I all in a Zoom chat, and we drafted our players for last year, but we're going to be doing that soon this month. If not this month, early next month, but it has to be before, obviously, the NFL starts, because that is crucial. We're doing that draft soon to draft our players for fantasy, and it's slowly going to transition with Titus Oldham as a co-host. It's going to slowly transition back into League of the Wings and fantasy football, because since February, after the Super Bowl ended, I haven't been talking sports, and it hasn't been any fantasy football related content. And yeah, if you signed up for some fantasy football content, I am sorry. But for the last, since February, 5 months or so, 6 months, I don't know how to do math, and I'm not going to do the math. We haven't been talking about football except for about 4 or 5 episodes in the middle. I think 4 episodes in the middle of April and May due to the draft, and Titus was a co-host on that. But other than that, it has been relatively football free and sports free relatively. And so yeah, but Titus is coming back July 14th, so that's next week to Philly. We're going to be just talking about things because he's going to jump back right into it, being a co-host, and we're going to still be doing weekly uploads, and up until football actually starts, we are going to be doing some non-football related, non-fantasy related topics, like maybe reviewing Lucasfilm by, what is that by? I think it's by Pixar's newest movie, Lucas. We're probably going to do a review of that. If not, we're going to be doing other movie reviews, possibly. Is that Disney? Oh, it is Disney. Never mind. Disney created it. I was just JKing about I guess Pixar. Disney does own Pixar, so I was right. So it's a Pixar made film, but we may do a review on that on Luca because it's been out for the past month, but it's probably, all the conversations probably diminished and it's not relative anymore, but we may do a review of Luca, but yeah, we're just going to be doing some non-football, non-fantasy related conversations just between me and Titus until fantasy football picks up. So yeah, that's the future of Babellion, and that's the future of League of the Wings, and I'm excited. I am very, very excited for that, and I'm happy to have Titus come back and co-host because I was feeling a little bit lonely. Cause, for the first 3 months of this podcast, I've been interviewing nonstop. I think it was 7 or 8, maybe even more straight episodes of just me interviewing people, my roommates, and other people that are around me. So I don't even know where I was going with that, to be honest. Let's get away from that because it's already 8.5 minutes into this podcast, and you probably don't want to hear me blab about the future of League of the Wings for another second. Let's get into my ratings of 4th of July events. I know I probably should have posted this last week, but it's still kind of relevant because it's only 4 days after 4th of July and still kind of winding down. People are just going back to work. So losing relativelessness. I don't even know if that's a word. I want to do an episode because I'm lost for content. But okay, so my first big one I guess I should knock off is fireworks. I give fireworks a 7.5 out of 10, and for 4th of July only. Now the reason why I say this is because usually every 4th of July you have to basically go out of your way to see fireworks. It's usually at least a 10, 15, even 20-minute car ride depending on where you live. If you're in the city, it's you don't have to go anywhere. You can literally just walk outside and you see fireworks everywhere. But if you live in a rural area like I used to in Lancaster, then you have to travel at least 15 to 20 minutes to get anywhere. So that's kind of my experience with it. Even probably more. Sometimes I drove 30, 35 minutes just to see some fireworks. Plus, if my family and I didn't go see fireworks, we usually had fireworks, which wasn't usually the case. We usually always went and see fireworks. If on the off chance we didn't go see fireworks, we would buy them, and it's hella expensive for any fireworks. Just any fireworks. To put on a professional show, you have to at least spend $1,000, and that's the minimum to have a good fireworks show that is fully professional and everything. And Pennsylvania fireworks only became legal, you could legally buy them in Pennsylvania for the last, I don't know, I think it's past 3 or 4 years now. So it became legal to buy fireworks in the state of PA relatively soon. So you couldn't even get them. People would go down to Maryland and Delaware to buy fireworks, in New Jersey to buy fireworks, because it just simply wasn't legal in Pennsylvania. So that kind of ruined the image because you would have to go to a show. People just went to other states. So it's just a struggle to see fireworks that only last maximum like 10 minutes. So I don't really get the big hype on fireworks. I mean, it's cool. I really like fireworks in the moment. Like, it's the best thing ever. But I just give it a 7.5 because it's just too much of a struggle to actually go and see fireworks and or up too much money to obtain fireworks. Past weekend, I went up to Trey's cabin for a 4th of July party with Josh, and we drove about 3.5 hours to see them. And they spent a good chunk of money to have like a professional. They lit it by themselves, but to have like a professional show. And we were basically right under the fireworks, and it's probably the best show that I had while watching fireworks because it was really, we were staying straight up at the fireworks and literally ash was pouring on us, and that's how close we were. And it was probably the best firework experience that I had in my entire life just because of how close it was, and it wasn't a struggle to go see the fireworks. So that was probably why it was such a good show. Now, moving on. I'm going to move on to spending time with friends and family. As you do every 4th of July, usually people gather in big groups to celebrate 4th of July. And I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10 because I'm a family man. I'm a friend kind of guy. I love hanging out with a big group of people. And I just love that bond. Everyone's talking. Everyone's eating some good 4th of July food. It's just really good experience because I just like that connectiveness and stuff. And I just always had a good experience with 4th of July and spending time with friends and family because usually my family gets together for 4th of July like they did this past Monday. But I just really like that because it was an excuse for our family to get together. Now, we always get together, but it's just a big family thing because everyone's coming to a 4th of July like hangout. I wouldn't really call it a party, but it was just a family thing. But yeah, I just love hanging out with family and friends, so I give it a 10 out of 10. Moving on to the food. Food overall is probably a 9.5 out of 10. I really love the food, from pulled pork, hot dogs, hamburgers. I'm just going to group it all together. I was going to do like hot dogs, hamburgers. I can never pronounce burgers correctly. It's always boogers or burgers. I don't know why I can't pronounce hamburgers correctly. I'm just going to lump them together for the sake of time. And so I'm going to probably give that a 9.5 out of 10 because I just love all those food. No matter if it's hot dogs, pulled pork, hamburgers, it's always salty goodness. And the desserts too. The desserts are just so awesome and delicious, and it's an excuse to pick out like Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's just always a good excuse to pick out, and you can literally stuff your face for the next like 5 days with leftovers as well, depending on how much is made. So I just give it a 9.5 out of 10 because it's just such a good experience. And with food, it's just every food that comes with 4th of July is pretty good. I'm going to go temperature wise. It's usually always hot. I'm going to talk about weather. I'm going to probably lump weather. So it's usually hot, sunny, and humid on 4th of July. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Most of those points are coming from because it's usually sunny on 4th of July. I mean, we did get rained out a little bit, but the rain kind of disappeared on this past Saturday, or at least in New York. But it did become eventually sunny, and I'll rate that 9.5 out of 10 because the weather was perfect. It was perfect swimming weather, etc., etc. Overall, from especially this past Monday where it's hot and humid, especially in Pennsylvania where it's always fucking humid. One thing that I absolutely hate about Pennsylvania, well, just one, I mean, there's plenty of other things that I hate about Pennsylvania, but just one of the reasons why I do hate Pennsylvania is because of the humidity, whereas California, you can literally just go under a tree in some shade and you cool off. Back to the 6.6 out of 10, the 4-point deduction. I feel like a 6 out of 10 is very lenient. I could probably go down to a 5 out of 10. It's between a 5 out of 10 and a 6 out of 10, but like I just hate being sweaty and humid and stuff. It's just disgusting. I feel sticky. I feel disgusting. I just don't like it. I like 80, no humidity. 80 degrees is the perfect weather. 80, 85, no humidity is the perfect weather. It's the middle of July, and it's usually hot, steamy, humid. It's just disgusting. The points are coming from it's usually, somehow, it's always sunny on the 4th of July. I don't understand how that works. Every 4th of July, it's always sunny. I don't understand that. It makes no sense. Activities I'm not going to lump in because it's usually a lot of activities, and I feel like they deserve their own rating besides themselves. So my camera's about to die, so probably switching just to voice or sound or audio shortly, but I'm going to go with swimming, because usually I know this is not everyone can swim on the 4th of July, but with my experience, I've always been able to swim from my because I usually, when we have my family gatherings, we usually go to my grandparents' house, and swim in his pool because he has a nice little pool. It's only about like 4.5 feet, I think, and it's an above ground pool, but it's still very refreshing. So I always had a pool to swim in. And then this past Saturday, when I went over to Trey's house or Trey's cabin, he had a huge pond. And if you want to see that pond, you can go back to the vlog that I posted last year when I went up to New York and saw him. And if you want to see that pond, go up and check out that vlog, because that was very, very exciting vlog, and I had a blast filming that, and I had a blast just doing activities. But that's besides the point. So I always had somewhere to swim, whether it was a pond or if it was a swimming pool, and I give that a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because like that's always an escape out of the humidity. That was my escape out of the hot. I would usually run around playing either backyard football or cornhole or just standing in the sun for the matter of the fact, and I would just jump straight into the pool and cooled me right off, and then get out and do it all over again. So it was a nice way to get out of the sun, get out of the heat and humidity. But I guess the point that I deduct is drying off, but that comes with swimming in general. I just don't like drying off, and I don't like changing to my bathing suit, because unless if you wear your bathing suit right when you get there, which I don't usually do, changing to a swimming suit is a little nasty, because if you're just standing around in the weather, you usually get sweaty and you have to take off your sweaty clothes to put on a bathing suit, which I always forgot to just wear my bathing suit there because, I just forgot. But that's where the 1 point deduction is coming from. Other activities, cornhole. We usually had cornhole, and I give that a 9.5 out of 10 because I just love playing cornhole, and it's actually one of the backyard games where I'm actually pretty mediocre at. I'm usually pretty good while playing cornhole, and it's just a fun game. I always get competitive, and I get competitive about everything, but especially when I play cornhole, I always want to win, even though it's the most meaningless. Like, it's not like we have like competitions or keeping track of who wins and who loses. I just always want to win, and my competitive side gets to me. I just like things that I'm good at, and I think I'm obviously not the best. I don't want to mean to be too cocky or toot my own horn about this. I don't want to toot my own horn about playing cornhole and how good I am, but I think I'm pretty good. But I don't think I'm the best by all means, because I do have my bad stretches, but when I'm on fire, I just don't miss the board. I just don't miss. This past Monday, I hit 3 holes in a row, and that's pretty impressive for me. I know that I'm definitely not a professional. Side note, did you know that there's professional cornhole? Like, it's an actual, like, thing, and I just want to be one of those. They're just hitting the hole every single time. It's freaking nuts. I guess you do make a sport out of anything, and everything's competitive on the competitive level, like like a professional level. It's just absurd to me. Sidetrack, back to it. But yeah, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Backyard football. I don't play backyard football at every 4th of July. It's very rare, but when I do, I'll have a lot of fun because like I played backyard football throughout elementary school, and I just love playing backyard football. Usually I'm a wide receiver or I'm an all-time Q. And obviously a defensive man once I get on defense, but I just love playing backyard football because it's like I get to pretend that I'm actually playing the sport that I watch all the time. And I sometimes when I was little, I would used to pretend like me and my cousins when we were playing during 4th of July, we would pick like an Eagles player that we would be, and we would be that Eagle player. And I always went to Sean Jackson because he was fast and speedy, because I usually was a wide receiver. but I give it probably a 9 out of 10. 8 out of 10 because we don't play it every single time we have 4th of July, but when it comes around, it is usually good. And usually when we're playing, it's on like a small field, so it's not like we can actually do long explosive plays and just players are hard out. But yeah, I give that probably an 8 out of 10. Two deductions just for how small the field is, but we can't really help that because yeah, my grandpa's backyard is not really that big, or at least big enough to play backyard football. Now, to another activity I'm going to give it is throwing the football back and forth, and I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 because usually when 4th of July comes around, we usually throw the football with a bunch of people, and I love how so many people in my family throw the football like at once, and we like make little games out of it. Like I don't know the name of this game, but usually it's like you throw it up and you call like a number or something and it catches it, and then you throw it up, and if it's something bad and you catch it, then you lose. I forget the name of it, but like we make little games out of throwing the football back and forth. I give it a 9 out of 10 because I just love throwing the football back and forth. -1 due to it gets boring after a while, and my arm hurts after a little bit after throwing a lot, which is kind of a pussy thing to say, but it happens. I just don't like how my arm is sore. And also there's been a couple injuries while throwing the football back and forth, which you wouldn't expect, but it's just from people not paying attention or just people not paying attention. So activities in general, 4th of July activities, I give it probably a 9 out of 10. If you average it, it's probably a little bit like 9.2 or whatever if you average it out a little bit. So that's my activities. Now, I don't think I'm forgetting anything, I'm just going based on my experience. I know everyone experiences 4th of July different, but that's kind of just like the overall things that you do on 4th of July. So yeah, 4th of July is probably like an 8 out of 10 overall. I know it probably doesn't average out of an 8 out of 10, but just my thoughts, like an overall theme. I mean, it's not my favorite holiday. I think it's in my top 10, but I mean top 5, but it's not, it's not like I'm excitedly waiting for 4th of July. I'm like, oh my god, look, come on, 4th of July, come on. Like, I'm not just like sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for 4th of July to come around. But yeah, I do get excited when 4th of July comes around because it just means I get to eat good food and spend time with family. Now, I just want to say one last thing on 4th of July. This 4th of July, this past Sunday, was the first time that I experienced 4th of July in Philly and in a big city. Because usually I'm from Lancaster, but we don't go. Usually, I guess I do pass Lancaster when I go see fireworks year after year. But it's not like I'm in the middle of Lancaster. I can't really tell what it's like. But usually in Lancaster, it's like the city of Lancaster, it's like fireworks, a lot of fireworks, but not as much as Philly. Holy crap, that was crazy. I might show a video right now if I feel like it. I may be too tired. It's just crazy. It's just fireworks everywhere. It's just constant fireworks, poof, poof, loud booms, like my ears blew out or were ringing constantly when I was in Philly. It's just, and in the smoke and fog, it filled up the city. You would think that it was like fog, but it was like fireworks smoke. And it even like filtered out on Schuylkill and on the highway and stuff. It was just crazy. I just never experienced fireworks like that. Like, I mean, Philly, there are a decent amount of fireworks that go off at night, every night, but it's usually like 1 or 2 and it's like done. But it was the entire like Philadelphia or entire city was lit up with fireworks. It was crazy. Everyone was doing it, and people were doing it in the middle of the streets. I think this is very illegal for people to do, but they do it anyway, and the cops can't really do anything because how the fuck are they going to stop thousands of people from shooting off fireworks? But like, people were doing it in the middle of the street, and it's just crazy. I never experienced fireworks like that. Just crazy. Transitioning to the H3 Frenemies drama, I don't understand how this drama is still going. I mean, I would think it's pretty much over. I hope it is, because I'm getting tired about talking about it. I was even considering about talking about it now because I talked about it so many times. but I just want it to be over, because like I spent 3 hours probably talking about it, 4 hours even then talking about it. But I'm just going to check. I'm going to talk. I'm checking out to see if Trisha posted anything on YouTube about responding to Ethan's response to her apology. It doesn't look like she posted anything on her YouTube. At least she may have posted something possibly on TikTok. So it's probably a short response. From what I heard, she did respond to Ethan responding to her apology. I do know that. But I think this is pretty much over. I think this drama is thankfully over. And I'm just very, very happy that's over. Now, if there's any lingering thing that I missed during this podcast, I would just add it on to next podcast. But I'm just going to give a little update. I'm not going to spend much time on it because I already spent a few hours on it already. And I don't want to waste my time talking about something that I've already talked hours upon hours on, and especially since it's not that big of a news. It's really not that dramatic. It's pretty much what you expect, and and if you want like more in-depth analysis, again, go check Adam. I'll link him in the description. And again, Adam, if you need an editor, I want to keep plugging myself, but if you need an editor, I'll edit your videos. Not that your videos need editing, but I'm just going to keep the load off of you because you do post a lot. But again, get back to the chase because I am going off topic. Okay, so Ethan responded to Trisha's apology, in which we reacted to Trisha's apology to like the entire situation last week. So if you want to check that out, go check out last podcast. But Ethan responded and kind of how you would expect him to respond, and he kind of said the same things as I pointed out last week, how he was kind of mad or annoyed at Trisha of it wasn't really a sincere apology, and it was kind of just apologizing to make money and just to apologize. And I was kind of saying how she had ad rolls on it. She just wasn't talking about Ethan. She kept on talking about other things. She talked about Gabby Hanna. She talked about herself. It just didn't feel genuine. My camera's about to shut off because we're about 30 minutes, but my camera's going to die anyway, so I'm not going to reset it. So it's going to transition into audio for the YouTube listeners. For Spotify listeners, it doesn't really matter. So I was just saying how it wasn't really genuine because of all these factors. She put ads on it. She talked about herself. She talked about Gabby Hanna, and Ethan, and his reaction to the Trisha's apology was kind of saying how he was a little sad and he didn't really feel like it was a sincere apology due to the ad rolls and stuff like I just said. And he was like, if you wanted like a genuine apology, just call me. He basically was like, just come on, just like call me and like apologize and we can talk it one-on-one. And a genuine apology doesn't need 20 mid-rolls during it. And he was just saying it just didn't feel genuine, but he was grateful that she did apologize. But he was just saying it didn't feel like an apology. And he said that basically he needs time to kind of still forgive her because she did a lot of things that needs time to forgive, and it's kind of unforgivable with retweeting racist things that Ethan said a long time ago, and commenting like tweets that saying that Ethan's a racist and Ethan's this, Ethan's that, and Trisha was liking those. Basically, he said that Trisha was trying to ruin his life with making all these fake assumptions and lies and stuff, and how can't really forgive her for that because he felt like Trisha was trying to ruin his life, and which makes sense. And from the outside perspective, and even on the inside from Ethan's perspective, that's how he's feeling. He feels like Trisha was trying to take advantage of him and trying to ruin his entire life because all this drama was not needed. They could have talked outside of it. They could have hashed things out outside without all of these all over social media, etc. This just wasn't needed. And he was just saying it got to the point where if you're sending private messages out as well, it became very toxic. And he was just like, it's going to take him a while to actually forgive her and to forget the situation. And he was just saying again that it sucks because it's like they're about to become family with her marrying Moses, which is Gila's brother. Gila's Ethan's wife, and it just sucks because it like breaks that bond. Now there's something it's almost, not fixable, and he was just saying how it sucks, and he wished that he could still do the podcast with Trisha, and he wished that she did what she did, and basically that's what his response was, which I fully agree with, because what Trisha did to him was very unneeded and unnecessary. Yeah, it's just Ethan was allowing Trisha into his life, and she just completely ruined that relationship, and it's just disgusting, especially when you're about to become family. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm hiccuping. I just don't understand it. And Trisha solely did it for money, but on top of the already thousands that she was getting from the Frenemies. It's just crazy. I heard from the H3 podcast, that she posted some 200 things to social media about this topic, from TikToks, from YouTube, from tweets, etc., etc. It's just 200 separate social media posts. It's just absurd. It gets to the point where you can't be doing it for money all the time. You have to think about relationships and for the future and stuff, and actually not break every relationship that you form with people. The only good relationship that she has is some of the crew members, which she said in her apology that I was just shocked about, that she kept for at least 5+ years, some 7 to 10 years. I just shocked that she was able to keep relationships with them, especially surprised that she's keeping a relationship with some of her family just after what she did, because like what her actions reflect upon the family as well. It's just crazy how she just does not stop and think how she's harming other people's mental health. It's not just her mental health that she's taking to take in consideration. It's just, I don't understand. It's just purely for monetization purposes, and she's made tens of thousands of dollars with this drama, plus the Gabby Hanna drama that has been happening as well. She made a crap ton of money from that because she's been posting stuff on YouTube and TikTok about that. It's just crazy. She probably made a few $100,000 in the last couple months just from Frenemies, from her posting all this drama and shit that she's been with. It's just crazy. She knows how to hustle. Gotta give her that. That's why I think she's so brilliant. But it's just gets to the point where you have to think about other people's mental health and emotions before money and monetary gain. And I think I heard just from a few titles and a few little snippets that Ethan's reaction to her apology is that she got mad at Ethan for bringing up her sister within the reaction. So that just shows that she wasn't apologizing to Ethan sincerely, and she was just doing it for monetary gain, which is just so disgusting when you think of it. It's just so disgusting. I just hate it. I'm looking up how many views. I'm gonna get copyright claim, but I'm just gonna look up how many views she got on the apology video. Wow, the past few videos that she has been like under 15 minutes, which is crazy. Her longest video is only 22 minutes since the apology video, which is super, super crazy. Oh, okay. Maybe if Anna does not come on, and if I do not interview Anna next week, I'm going to do a reaction to Jeff Riddick, Gabby Hanna, Ethan Klein, Enemies #1, the video that she posted right before she apologized to Ethan. So it goes Enemies, then a day later she apologized to Ethan, which is so funny in my mind. So apology is at almost 1 million views, which is crazy, and she's all this drama and stuff is her main views, because since she uploaded the apology video, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos that she posted since the apology video has gotten, her weight loss videos got 208,000 views, 96,000 views, 162,000 views, 115,000 views, 76,000 views, 93,000 views, and then one that she just posted 12 hours ago got 48,000 views. So all of her views come from drama. But it's crazy how much she profited off of this drama, and it's just crazy. So yeah, if I don't interview Anna next week, then I'm going to be reacting to the Enemies podcast, which has been out for the past week and a half now, and it's probably old news. But if Titus doesn't come on and co-host, and if we don't come up with some ideas, then that's what I'm going to be reacting to, even though it's way out of relative recent, or just it's so down in the bush. It's just not even relevant anymore, but I just need content, and this is just fascinating. But if I don't interview Anna, that's gonna be it. Hopefully I interview Anna next week, because I do not want to talk about Frenemies anymore. But this should be the last time I talk about Frenemies drama with Trisha Paytas. Thank God, because I'm getting tired of it. So yeah, one last thing that I want to say before I wrap this up was, I literally had it in my mind. Let me think. I was thinking about Trisha and stuff. Never mind. I guess I won't be. Oh, wait. Okay. Last thing before I wrap this up. I'm sorry this was a very short one, but I need a little break from podcast and editing, because it takes me hours to edit, upload, and export from Premiere and upload to YouTube. So I'm sorry for a shorter one. I just need a little break. But sorry that I did not have a big thing to drink out of. Usually I have a huge thing that I drink out of when I do this, but now I was just drinking out of a small red Solo cup, but at least I was drinking out of something rather than nothing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little episode, this little 4th of July special about my ratings, and I hope you enjoyed my reaction to the wrapping up of this Frenemies drama. This is the last time we're going to be talking about Frenemies. Hopefully, I may talk about it next week, but hopefully that is it. Thank you for watching if you watched this long, and yeah, and thanks for watching.